Hello guys and welcome to Steel Division 2. Today we're going to be starting the Vistula campaign on the Axis side, having previously completed the Karelia campaign on the Soviet side. July 27th to August 5th, 1944. Once Army Group Center is destroyed, the Red Army enters Poland to establish a bridgehead over the Vistula River, unaware that the Germans are concentrating elements from no fewer than 5 panzer divisions to protect Warsaw. Let's go ahead and read the campaign description. Operation Bagration closes in on its ultimate goal. Having destroyed Army Group Center, the First Belarusian Front races ahead to prevent the Germans from reforming a strong defensive line, overconfident in its own abilities. Stalin aims to capture Warsaw and install a pro-Soviet government. With their sights set on the grand prize, the Polish capital city, as well as a bridgehead on the Vistula River, the Soviets fail to notice that they are heading straight into a trap. The Germans, having received reinforcements from 5 elite panzer divisions, are converging on the Red Army vanguard from 3 directions. This campaign pits the crack 4th SS Panzer Corps, Totenkopf and Viking panzer divisions against a 3 tank corps strong Soviet 2nd Guards tank army. Various elements from other armoured or mechanized divisions will also be available, including the 4th Panzer Division, 19th Panzer Division, Hermann Göring Panzer Division, 2nd Guards Cavalry Corps, 11th Tank Corps, and more. You can see the Soviet and German forces there, if you'd like to stop and pause just to check that out. But let's select our side. We will of course be jumping over to the Axis side under the German commander, and I'll be setting the AI to hard difficulty, of course. Let's go ahead and jump straight in.
After only 1 month, the carefully planned Operation Bagration was turning into an overwhelming triumph for the Red Army. The German Army Group Center had been destroyed, with the few surviving units and sparse reinforcements rushed to the wide-open front, unable to form a new defensive line. To make matters worse for the Wehrmacht, only half of Marshal Rokossovsky's mighty First Belarusian Front had been committed. Fresh troops were ready to spring into action for the next phase of the offensive, which aimed to attack the retreating Germans from 2 directions. On July 20th, the Soviet 2nd Tank Army crossed the Bug River into Poland, its eyes set on the main political prize of Operation Bagration, Warsaw, and with it a crucial bridgehead over the Vistula River. However, the Germans had no intention to give up the Polish capital without a fight. Mustering reinforcements from across the Reich, no less than 5 elite panzer divisions were ordered to converge on the critically important city. Greatly overextended and blinded by the trophy straddling the Vistula River, the Soviets failed to realize they were heading straight into a trap. Echoing the counteroffensive at Kharkov, a deadly German armored attack was in the making, and at the right time would strike deep into the heart of an overconfident Red Army.
The Soviet First Belarusian Front is closing on Warsaw from 2 directions. Although 4th SS Panzer Corps managed to hold a corridor near Siedlce for the troops retreating from the southern road to Warsaw, it's virtually undefended. A major gap has opened between the 4th SS Panzer Corps around Siedlce and the weak 73rd Infantry Division, which is all what prevent the Soviets from entering Warsaw. Powerful reinforcements are on their way. If we can hold the Soviets at bay long enough to mount a counterstrike, they will get the surprise of their life. One last but noteworthy detail: the Soviet Air Force seems to be at the limit of its range. Like in the old days, we will enjoy the benefit of air superiority. And the objective: your mission is to hold the key objectives at Siedlce, Radzymin, Minsk Mazowiecki, and Praga until August 8th. And here we are on the campaign map. It is the Axis side's turn first. So we'll be waiting to see what the AI get up to. But we have the Hamming-Göring division on the left there being able to reinforce. And I assume the rest of our reinforcements will be coming in from the top side here. But we're already under attack. The 1st Battalion of the Infantry Regiment 84th in a breakthrough defense against some motorized rifle brigades and potentially some tanks, which could be quite rough since we don't really have any armored reinforcements in range ourselves. So I'm probably going to have to call in the Air Force. Let's have a look at the planes that we have access to already. We've got the 1st Battalion of the 1st Ground Attack Group, the 1st Wing. These are Focke-Wulfs. We got some Ju-87s, of course. These have cluster AP. How many of these do we get? Only 2 by the looks of things. Then we got the ones with the bombs. The ones with the bombs can kill tanks over time, or like 2 or 3 of them in one go. We'll probably kill a tank. So we have enough sort of payload there to get the job done. Looks like the 3rd Wing of the 77th Ground Attack is going to be HE-111s with different payloads for the most part. Bunch of Ju-87s in there as well, but mostly heavy bombers. We've got the 122nd Recon Group, which is Me-410s. I'm not sure this is going to be terribly useful for supporting ground forces, but I believe there is a recon action that we can use those for. And then we also have the 1st wing of the 1st fighter wing here, which gives us the Focke-Wulfs, and these have some 210mm rockets as well as just standard fighter variants. So probably want to be using the 1st Battalion of the 1st Ground Attack Group, assuming that we don't get attacked elsewhere. If we get attacked further to the left, that's not so bad because we do have some tanks available there. On the right, it's unlikely that we're going to be attacked by tanks, so that's also quite good for us. So yeah, let's go ahead and get them involved. And we'll also bring in the 2nd Battalion of the Infantry Regiment 84 behind. Okay, it's tactical battle, and we shall jump on in. So they are in fact bringing in their own aircraft, I believe, which we're going to have to take care of. Not sure what ground forces they are using though. Looks like it's going to be the 2 motorized rifle brigades, which actually isn't that many troops. But give me just a second, guys. I'm going to get my defenses down, and then we shall carry on. My defenses are all set up. Let me take you through them. So on the left-hand side here, we just have a 50mm bunker facing up the road with a couple of grenadiers and trenches. We've got basically grenadiers and trenches all across the front, with the Grenadier attached to commandants to give the extra veterancy. That's pretty much the same the whole way across the front, as you can see, all just in groups that can be extra vetted by these Grenadier attached to nearby commandants. I think the right side is the only place that is not connected. These ones are going to be connecting here and then over to here with the 1000 meter range. So that's kind of how I set it up. And then I've got the bunkers facing down all the roads to ready to shoot all of the transports because we're not up against any tanks. I don't need to worry about my AT guns being out in the open. We're just going to try and cut down as many of them before they unload as possible. Also got a few mortar batteries, got the 120mm and the 81mm at the back, ready to fire at will. So that's probably what we're going to set them to straight away. Just fire at will, orders across the board, and we'll have them smash the units as they unload. Now, of course, we do have to deal with their aircraft, but I will be bringing in my aircraft shortly. Probably going to invest in a couple of these Focke-Wulfs. We're already killing one of the Studbekis there, that's good. PE2's already coming in, probably for a bombing strike by the looks of things onto my 81mm mortar, maybe even the Opal Blitz there. Yeah, it looks like it was going for the Opal Blitz. So lucky we moved that. Gonna need to get those Focke-Wulfs up into the sky sooner than later. We can also go ahead and strafe the 82mm mortar there. Yeah, they're coming under MG fire now. Grenadiers opening up with their MG34s. I feel like the Grenadiers are going to eventually run out of ammunition over time. Let's get these Focke-Wulfs out. Okay, we'll shoot down that PE2. Going to start strafing the 82mm mortar. Actually, it might be best to just kind of let this one fly around on the right-hand side and use a Ju-87 to take down the mortar instead. I think I'm going to do that. This Focke-Wulf can just go straight for the recon aircraft. Right, we're on the back of that one. Very nice. They actually went ahead and crashed into the Strelki down there. Pretty lucky. Doing quite a nice damage here to these units. That's good. Focke-Wulfs having a field day. I think my mortars as well, they're just counter-battering the 82mm. Even though they have a fire at will order. It's just what they chose to do. That's fair enough. There is a bomber on this side. Let's go catch that. Looks like it's going for the 50mm bunker or maybe my Grenadiers. Either way, I'd like to shoot it down. I don't think we'll get there in time. Where are those bombs landing? Yeah, that was on the bunker. It's not so bad if they end up on the bunker, honestly. I'm going to move this Commandant back just in case these 120mm get counter battery. Yeah, I think all of the mortars that we have, we're focusing on their mortars, which is fine. Probably going to push forwards on this left side at some point. So I'm going to start reinforcing that, I think. I didn't use any of my AT guns or AGs or anything, just because I didn't want to lose them in the early battles. I'm kind of saving them for later battles. I feel like at the moment we're fine. These Pack 40s and IGs and stuff will be really useful when we're actually up against armor. It's kind of what I'm waiting for with those. But yeah, let's bring in some more Grenadiers on this side, just so we can start to maybe push these guys back. A line of Grenadiers there. I might be able to push across the open here. Probably going to need another MG or something to help from this ridge. Bring a couple MG42s up here, and we'll bring one into this town as well that might be able to help. Don't really have anything on the edge of this hill either. And that one should be able to kill the Stubbecker. I think it just missed then. Yep, got it the second time round. Still floating around with the Focke-Wulf 190, that's good. So far, everything seems to be going great. Yeah, these Panzergrens, or they're not even Panzergrens, they're just Grenadiers. They ran out of machine gun ammunition. Ooh, 2 PE2s. Well, hopefully I can catch that one. It looks like it might kill the 50mm bunker because it's already been hit once before. Oh no, we ran out of fuel. Oh, that was bad timing, wasn't it? Okay, let's bring in a couple more then. I think I'm just going to bring in all of them. We just need to stop these attacks from happening across the board. So that one went for the Grenadiers there, did some damage. Going to replace those. Pull them back. Get all these unloaded into the light cover. Yeah, we definitely want to go for the recon. We can take the recon out, that'd be really, really handy. Looks like we are going to get onto that P2. Oh no, we just overshot. Let's pull round, see if we can get it on the way out. Focke-Wulfs are fast, but I'm not sure it's going to be fast enough. P2s are quick as well. Need to get to 800 meter range to be able to shoot this down. I think it's going to get out in time. Oh, just managed to get it. Very nice. Okay, let's shoot down this PE2 then. And the recon PE2, may as well just strafe that Maxim. I'm going to get the grenadiers to the edge of the hill there, so they can engage. Alright, let's move the upper blitz round, because they moved out of range of it. Well, there's another bomber. Got to take that out as well. Looks like it's going for the kill onto these grenadiers. I'm just going to allow them to stay where they are for now. We'll move them afterwards. Because if I started moving them and then the bombs landed, they'd take extra damage. Which is obviously not what we want. Great. I'm going to strafe that supply vehicle there next to their mortar. This one can stay on the PE2. Same with that one there. Oh, we lost the Grenführer. That's not good. We actually have a very limited amount of Grenführer. I used up all of them in this defense. So I really don't want to lose them if I can help it. We did shoot down that PE2. That's good. We're certainly annihilating a lot of these attack aircraft, which is great because just the start of the campaign, so the more we kill the better. Means we don't have to deal with them throughout. Looks like this Focke-Wulf is primed to shoot that down. Let's get him. Oh, coming right onto the tail. Oh, it's having rudder problems. Can't quite get there. Okay, let's try and get onto this PE2 fighter if we can. Well, that was an easy kill, wasn't it? Alright, we're going to have that one retreat because I don't want it to get shot down. It has taken damage. A bit of an oil leak going on. Have this one strafe the mortar there. There was a mortar below it as well. I think both of these are almost out of fuel. Don't have any more fighters, which is a bit of a problem. But any unit that does get bombed, definitely just going to fall them back. Damn, they really are just going for my leaders, aren't they? So it's kind of annoying because the leaders haven't even fired. I guess they have been using recon aircraft to technically find out where they are. But in trenches, usually they're pretty well hidden. Just those rocket planes, like managing to one past them, because that one certainly hadn't taken any damage. It's rough. It's very rough. This Aufklärer. The only thing in the way of all of this. Tell you what we can do. We can bring in the Ju-87s. So what we're going to do, we will target 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll have our Ju-87s come in and do their attack run. Lovely stuff. Should absolutely annihilate those forces. One actual good thing about these Ju-87s is they're all 2-star veterans, see? Which means they take a lot longer to be forced back by AA. Now that's a Cobra. Is that coming in with a rocket strike onto? Okay, I went for the Grenadiers. That's not so bad. Alright, here we go. Look at them go, boys. Definitely gonna kill off a bunch of them. Only one of them actually dropped the bombs. Once again, the rocket planes coming in, doing lots and lots of damage. Have those grenadiers fall back. Gonna replace them. We'll do the same here. Have the Grenführer fall back as well. This grenadier can move back. Bring in some replacements. That's okay. Bomb that unit. Lovely. Plenty of damage done there. Can we get onto the back of that PE2? Looks like it's coming straight in for an MG42. Oh, it's not got line of sight. Oh no, it's going for the mortar. Oh, that is cheeky. That is cheeky. Wow. I was going to say I can't believe it, but I kind of can. Damn. Okay, nice. We managed to shoot that down at least. I was a little unsure my Focke-Wulf would manage to get it there. Okay, we'll have the one on the right go for that. See if we can get that PE2. This just turned into an air fight mainly. This Grenadier's doing well though. Don't know if we shot that one down. I don't know if we managed to get the one on the right. I don't think we did. Looks like this Grenadier's gonna have to do a runner. He's coming in for my other... Oh! 120 mil water. It's just gone, guys. It's just gone. Incredible. Okay. They do have some sort of AA. I think it's just like Dushka trucks. Gonna get a couple more Focke-Wulfs in. Those bombing strikes. They're going for the Grenadiers there. Look at that. So cheeky. Killing off my units. Like that. Let's get these up into the trenches if we can. We also lost the MG42. Just can't hold back this many strikes. At least the MG42s are still alive. They are definitely good to have about. They can hold back units from a very long distance. They have that 1,500 meter range. It's pretty ridiculous for holding these open ground areas. I'm going to bring in a bunch of Grenadiers here. We're going to try and push back for this objective. There's only 3 minutes left, so I want to try and go for a total defeat. Or total victory, I guess. It would be. Let's grab these forces. And we'll start trying to push up. Let's just do that. That's fine. And these ones can go for the one on the left. Cool. The bunker on this side did get killed, but we don't need to push those forwards. Okay. Looks like we shot down another aircraft over there. That's fantastic. I'm going to have to bring in a fighter to the left-hand side because they're just constantly bombing this. And if I'm moving forwards, the Grenadiers, they're just going to take constant bombing strikes. We can, of course, bring in our own and do some damage with those. That's what I'm going to try and do. Did lose a Grenadier there. That is a shame. Alright, this one I'm going to give an attack ground order so that it doesn't fail to drop its bombs after the first one does. There we go. Cleared them out nicely. Beautiful stuff. Right, we are shooting down PE2s everywhere at the moment. Just going to bring in another Focke-Wulf. Looks like that might be going for my Grenführer. If it is... Oh, okay. I was going to say it shouldn't be able to. That should be pure AI cheats. But yeah, let's go ahead and try and push for that objective. It is technically already a total defeat. Let's unload these. It looks like that bombing strike. It might be hitting the one on the right hand side, which is a good thing. Oh no, they just straight up missed. Okay, perfect. We've absolutely decimated these motorized rifle brigades, which is great. And the PE2 there, trying to get the shot onto the bunker. But I think AT planes, they need line of sight now in order to fire. So it didn't end up firing. I'm so glad these are Focke-Wulfs, because if they were anything less, they probably wouldn't do that much damage and we wouldn't be getting half as many kills onto these PE2s. There are so many of them though. Blimey. Here they come again. Oh, he's going for my Grenführer. Oh, you're kidding me. Almost killed my MG42 as well. Gotta be a little bit careful here. Might end up killing my Focke-Wulf. Looks like we got him. That was close. Alright, and that's victory. Total victory. 16 minutes, 22 seconds. What a battle. 155 kills, 13 losses. Loads from the bunkers, loads from the planes. That's pretty much all it was. Grenadiers got a few kills along the way, but yeah, a lot of them were being rocketed. Those 120mm mortars getting rocketed was so cheap of the AI. But alas, the AI pays attention to where you fired from. And I didn't move my mortars after they fired, of course, because they were on fire well. So, yep, they're in their right to go and attack those with some fire position rockets. And that's what they did. So there we have it. The first defense going very much in our favor. Great stuff. That might actually destroy a couple of those units. Either that or disorganize them. If they are disorganized, it will actually make it easier for us to counterattack eventually. But I think it's unlikely that I will counterattack for a little while. I am going to try and hold on to every single flag throughout this campaign. So we're going to have to make sure that I get troops into position sooner than later, especially at Minsk-Mazowiecki. I need to get a unit here to defend down the main road. But it looks like they're trying to encircle Szydylce. We're going to have to put up some defenses further back on this side. We do have troops obviously further up that we can bring down to do that. Just get in the way of the cavalry corps. There, I think it's the 9th Cavalry. Got their tanks coming in. On this left-hand side, lots and lots of tanks here. This is going to be a very nasty front line to hold on to. I'm going to have to get my AT guns into position sooner than later. Also, the Jagdpanzers, like committing those in the right places is going to be really, really important. Plenty of tanks on the right-hand side that I might not necessarily need. The main area that I'm going to need tanks is here, and getting through all of these Soviet tanks is going to be kind of crazy over time. This unit's not dug in, so that one will have to fall back a little bit. The AI still doing their moves. Pushing in nice and hard. Okay, looks like we're under attack again. This time at the 102nd Fusilier Battalion. And these are in fact recon units, so we're going to have to definitely bring in the 2nd Battalion of the Infantry Regiment 232. We don't really have any AA, so I'm thinking maybe fighters as well, just in case they bring in aircraft again. Or we could go for artillery ourselves, try and saturate the front line. Now these are entire rifle regiments attacking us here. A couple of these can only reinforce in phase C, so there's not going to be a massive number of troops straight away on the field. But it's still going to be pretty rough. I could, of course, bring in the artillery early on. I think I'm going to bring in the fighters. We'll bring in the fighters. The Focke-Wulf 190s there. These also have the rockets that I can potentially target their artillery with if they decide to use it, but that's tactical battle. and we'll jump on in. So they didn't bring in any aircraft, but they did bring in that artillery I was talking about. This should be a relatively simple defense. We might take some damage, but not as much as the last one, because the PE2s with those rockets were really doing a number on us. This time around, it's just going to be simply transport sniping with the AT guns, and then holding at close ranges with the infantry, which is where we might lose something. But yeah, I'm going to get some defenses down, and I'll be back with you guys in just a second. And my defenses are all set up. So let's take a look. I've actually kind of intermingled the Fusiliers with Grenadiers for the most part. I think Fusiliers are actually slightly better at close range because they have an extra submachine gun as opposed to an extra Kar 98. So I've got them mixed in, especially around the forested areas, with the Grenadier attached to Commandants again. So we've got like a nice chain going on here of these Grenadier. Of course, if one of these gets killed, then it will break the chain, but that's a chance I've got to take because I need the Commandants on the front as well. On this right hand side, we've got the trenches in front of the town. This actually looks really cool. The sort of defenses around the town here. And then we've got AT guns, of course, aiming down the roads in order to transport snipe, and then the MG42s to cover them across the board in some key locations. So we've got one in the church, we've got one in this building in the open, one up on the hill, and so on. So let's go ahead and launch. I need to set all of my mortars, which I have at the back, to fire at will, and we'll let them do their thing. Here they come. This Pak 37 should be able to get some kills on the road here if they come further down. If not, it's just going to be up to the MG on this left-hand side to mow them down as they move up. MG42 is also getting involved there, of course. Pak 37 firing away, takes one out already. I'm going to move one of the Fusiliers across so that we can see the trucks coming down the road there. So we've got the Pak 50 basically firing from left to right, whilst this Pak 37 fires straight up the road. I would have liked to have had a leader on this Pak 37, but I just couldn't quite make it work, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have been in a really, really good position to kill some of these troops. I wonder what this is even firing at. I don't think it's hit anything yet. Actually quite impressive. One hit that. Is this 5? It's actually only a 65% hit chance there, which isn't much at all. We are spotting the snipers since we do have some Fusiliers. Actually, speaking of which, let's move one of the squads over to the right hand side there. We'll move these forwards. I am going to have to get some recon to spot their artillery. Actually, I probably don't need it. I can probably just fire position. If I spot it myself, I can fire position with the rockets, should do the job. Just going to have to save up and use these. There we go. Give that a fire position order. There's one on the left hand side here. We'll get another one in a second. One in a few seconds when the tick comes through. Okay, it's roughly there. Let's see if we can make this work. There was another one. Yep, to the left there. I'm not sure that was terribly accurate, honestly. It might have made the artillery stop firing for the time being, but certainly not the most effective strike. Didn't even hit where I told it to, I don't think. See how this one does? That other one definitely looked a lot more accurate, hopefully. Did some serious damage there. Might move up the Fusiliers on the left-hand side, maybe put them on reserve fire. Yeah, we can actually see them. I'm going to allow this one to strafe that artillery on the left-hand side there, just to finish it off. It's 152 mil, so good to take that out if we can. Perfect. I can go back to base. So yeah, we probably just did that across the board there, just kind of rocketed them, did a little bit of damage, but not too much. I could definitely do with some more machine guns up on this hill if I have any, but I think I placed most of them down. Yeah, looks like they're all placed down. Potentially I could bring in the IGs, but I'm doing the same thing as I did in the last battle, where I'm reserving my packs and the IGs for battles where I'm up against armor, if it ever comes to that. And in the meantime, just not really worth bothering. Killed the Monsterized Vitica there. That's going to allow these Fusiliers to move up unhindered for the time being. So tempted to bring an IG on this left-hand side just because it's so open. Same on the right on that hill, like where this MG is. Then again, if they have their own infantry guns, like they just showed, then yeah, we're probably going to have to be careful, because my IGs might die to those. Especially if they fire at us from cover. I'm going to bring back my Fusiliers, I think, on the left-hand side, just because I think they're going to end up getting spotted, and then they'll have to fight the enemy units at range, and they're going to get themselves killed, basically. I did a little bit of damage. I'm going to move those over to the right-hand side now. Just so that I can pull back into the heavy cover without having to like actually go into the building itself, because the building's going to get destroyed eventually. Now, one of the 120 mils is firing on that, so hopefully we'll just get a direct hit and it will die. That would be ideal. The 120 mil should have enough damage to do that, if it gets on target. Unfortunately, 120 mils, they're better for saturation of a target rather than direct fire. But yeah, should one actually land on the mark, we'll do plenty of damage. This MG squad just sat on the edge here. Just freely firing on any infantry they see. It must be really rough for the Soviet troops advancing. You see their commandant there, of course. More artillery fire coming down on our end. See if we can hit that one again. We'll probably kill it with a second strike, if I'm honest. We've got to take care of it sooner than later. Back 37. Don't think we have any leaders left, so there's no real way for me to make that 2-star veterancy. Oh, actually, we do have a battlefielder here. Let's bring that in. Yeah, for sure. Because this one's being used quite a bit. Let me go with the rocket strike once again. Okay, looks like that was a kill. Lovely. Sniper's getting caught up on the bunker whilst the MG42 from the church is just wrecking those Avtos. MG42 is also doing a great job on the Avtos. Okay, let's speed things up a little bit because it doesn't look like we're being attacked too hard. They haven't really taken any flags from us. Well, they're taking the one on the right at the moment, but probably take that back if they continue to push and die. The MG42 will kill the sniper. Yep, that's easy. See if we can get that 152 mil whilst it's in the open. Oh, nearly. Oh, I did die. These do leave behind flames that kill things that stood on top of it. So yeah, this is going pretty well. Let's unload that. There we go. Perfect. We've also made the MG42 there. 3-star veterancy. Looks like they brought in a couple more artillery pieces. There is one hitting the Pack 50 on the right hand side. That's not too much of a problem. I think I maybe have one more of these. Yeah, I do. Let's make sure that that one leaves. I'm going to guess around there. Just to make it fall back for now, if anything. Okay, total victory, 11 minutes, 6 seconds. We lost nothing in that battle. Nice defense. Mac-37 killed a lot of stuff before it unloaded. These MG-42s are so good in defense. So much better than the Maxims on the Soviet side. It's fantastic. So glad that we have them. Okay, great. Right, are we going to be attacked anywhere else, I wonder? They've certainly come at us strong to begin with today. Campaign already well underway. I'm not sure that I can see any with enough action points to attack. It'll probably be next turn that we get attacked in like 1 billion different locations. But if I can get there in time, we should be able to reinforce our front line pretty well. Yep, there we go. That's it. That is the end of the Allied turn. And it's finally our turn. But unfortunately, guys, it has to be my time. So I'm going to leave it here. And in the next episode, what we're going to do is start our turn. And we'll start to get our forces into position to hold back the Soviet troops and potentially counterattack later down the line. My plan is to try and push all the way down to their airfield if I can. By the end of the campaign, really make the strong counterattack, crush a lot of these armored forces if I can. Yeah, that's what we're going to be going for. But that's it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.